I think Whoopi was like, there was rumors maybe that she was getting ready to quit The View or maybe retire or whatever. And she cleared that shit the fuck up. She was like, nah, I'm not retired after 18 seasons. You kidding me? I didn't marry well. You know what I mean? So a bitch got to keep on working is what she said, right? And I thought that was fascinating because she's like the original, rich auntie kind of, right? Like, I mean, listen, let's be honest. She was married 3 times. I did not know this, but she was married 3 times at 77, 83, and 94. So she gave love a chance, right? And she had kids. So technically, unlike the rest of y'all who got this whole rich auntie thing going, y'all ain't got no kids. They don't have any. At least she had the company. 3 guys married her. Okay. So cool. So she's technically not the traditional rich auntie, but I think some of y'all use her because y'all ain't know she was married. How many people did y'all know she was married 3 times? I thought Ted Danson was in there, but you know she was married 2 times? Okay, I didn't know she was married. I mean, I was like, who'd marry her? But anyway, that's the point. Except for Ted Danson, because I thought like that was the whole.
The shade.
Yeah, I knew about 2. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know about the third one.
Man,
No,
cut
I'm
us
not
some
saying I
tail.
felt that way. This is what I felt like people thought who did not know that she was married. Because I thought she was married to Ted Danson. You know what I'm saying? White boys do be married to ugly black girls sometimes. So I was like, okay, maybe that made sense.
The shade. Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, it'd be like the white boys be going really, you know what I mean? They don't care. They be going oof with it. But anyways, so the point is that I think there was a question. Oh, yes. So do you guys, because she said she didn't marry well. So I'm kind of torn. She had 3 tries at it. It didn't work out. And she attributes not marrying well to not being able to retire. So let me frame it this way. Is what she said a warning shot to all the women out there who are thinking about the whole rich auntie lifestyle? The fact that, yes, she has a career, she has a beautiful home, but she's saying she doesn't have enough money right now to retire, and it's because she didn't marry well. Is this a warning for some of these women out here who imagine themselves to being Whoopi, but more attractive?
I think this is highlighting a larger thing that we're going to see going forward with the low marriage rates. And not only that, the low birth rates when women get, in their, golden years and there's no husband, there's no kids to take care of you. You're going to have to keep working. Most of you are. There's going to be a very, very tiny percentage of rich aunties, and Whoopi's at the apex of that. Whoopi's probably going to be fine. I mean, she may have to scale back her lifestyle a little bit, but I think she's going to land on her feet. It's going to be okay. But she highlights a larger thing that we're going to see in society. We call it the she economy. They already have reports, and they're telling a lot of these companies, hey, put out a lot of products that older women, especially older single women, are going to need. Invest in that stuff. Get your portfolios together, because that's going to be a thing. So I think she's bringing up something that we really need to pay attention to in society, because it's not going to just affect her or the woman individual. This is something we're all going to have to play a part in as a whole, as a group, in dealing with a lot of elderly, single, childless women who can't afford to retire and stop working. They're not going to be on the beach in Jamaica getting the gray clay rubbed on their legs by the young hard body guys. You're going to have to be working well into your 70s probably. They're already talk from economists saying a lot of people, men and women, aren't going to be able to retire. And this is going to hit the women pretty hard. So I think we need to pay attention to what Whoopi's saying and pay attention to this story and try to figure out how we navigate it. Because right now we can't make women get married. They say they don't want to be married. They want to be boss babes. They want to be leaders. And okay, cool. But what does that look like 20, 30 years out? You're 25, you're 30, even you're 35 now. Okay, great. Have you played this out all the way? Have you thought about this? And a lot of times they haven't. So when you're Whoopi's age and you look back on this, you're like, man, are you going to regret it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think there's a lot to unpack here. A lot to unpack here. Okay, so first, if Whoopi Goldberg, after decades in Hollywood, all of these movies, being on The View longer than some children have been alive, she says she can't afford to retire. That should scare somebody. Maybe not everybody, but somebody should really be looking at their account and their financial planning right now and asking themselves, have they done the math properly, right? Because if Whoopi ain't straight, what chance does this chick who's working a 9 to 5 at Burger King have? Really? Right? If Whoopi brought in all that money and then she could not, at her age, make the ends meet, y'all in trouble. You're in trouble. And I know we go, well, maybe Whitney was bad with her. Whoopi was bad with her money, right? But I think it might be even bigger than overspending, right? Because that's the easy thing. The easy thing to say is she needed better money management, right? She needed somebody to teach her, the financial markets and a little more financial intelligence or whatever. But maybe it's about how Black entertainers get underpaid, right? Maybe it's how they get undercut. Maybe it's how that we don't get as many movies and roles, right? How we're left out and we're usually just a token in a movie, right? Unless we do like Black Panther and we do a movie where that's all of us. Of course, I don't even know if we can do that anymore now with the current administration and their anti-DEI hires. I don't even know if you can have an all-Black cast because you're like, oh, I was set out to hire all Black people. That might throw you in jail nowadays. It's crazy. But I digress. It's about how when Whoopi says that women should marry correctly, something makes me pause, right? Like marriage is the retirement plan. Let me wake some of you women up, okay? If you plan to be a trophy wife, right? If you plan to live off somebody else's retirement and their planning, you better cash that check in when you're young and fresh, when you're a spring chicken, okay? Not when you're the old rotisserie hen on the Walmart rack. It ain't time for that. It's too late. Your time is past, okay? So that's not romance. It's a setup. It's insurance. It's not even fair. And it highlights a double standard that men are expected to be self-sufficient and then women are told to go secure a man who was self-sufficient, right? I can tell you for a fact that I've met women who have told me that even though they made a lot of money, they never, ever really invested in their retirement or in what they were going to do on the sunset side of life because they just knew they'd find a man and they just knew that man was going to break them off something. And they were wrong. The truth is, both genders need financial literacy. Love might keep you warm at night, but money is what pays the bills when the lights go off. And money can't buy love. And love can't buy money.
I was rocking with you for some of that, and then you kind of lost me kind of towards the end. But you know what, though? It's good. I got you on this. So I will say that first, I think there's a misconception when we talk about
Sade. That was Sade. That was Sade.
So I think there's a misconception when we talk about when men state that women use marriage as a retirement plan. And I say this because marriage and money has always been tied together for both men and women. When we talk about building generational wealth, when we talk about building in general, it's always been tied together. And so saying that it's a retirement plan, I think that's a disservice because it's all about building partnership, being interdependent and so forth. Now, what I will say is that Whoopi did wake up something that many women aren't ready to face, and that's the financial reality of being a single woman, especially considering that there's a lot of wage gap and disparity still, as well as the fact that she didn't plan correctly. You know, she said the key word is she didn't say getting married to retire. She said marry correctly, because if you don't marry correctly, and this is for men and women, but she talks from a woman's perspective, you can end up bankrupt. You can end up losing a lot of money. There's a lot of ramifications when you don't marry correctly. And that's what she was emphasizing, was to marry correctly. Not just marry, but marry correctly. And we're not talking about that piece of it. We're just assuming she's saying this is a retirement plan. And that's not what she was saying. She was saying that, hey, if you're going to get married, which she strongly encouraged, by the way, based on the way I interpret that comment, then marry correctly, because that's the only way you're going to survive. And I think that for her to be at her big old age, though, and have been married 3 times, I wonder what they took from her in those marriages. Because, you know, back in the day, because she was a Black woman and she was married to white men, I believe 2 of them walked away with alimony. And so it's like there's a possibility that she may have suffered from what many men complain about when their spouses or exes walk away with alimony. And that's also could be why she said marry correctly. I just want to say that financial literacy and intentional partnership is the real formula for retirement, not a women just trying to get the bag and marry for retirement. We're not trying to be trophy wives. Well, maybe some are. Let me not, so some are trying to be trophy wives, but that's not what Whoopi was saying here. So I just want to say that I think that at the end of the day, because we do face longer life expectancy, as in we're more likely to outlive our husbands and men in general, then it is important for us to marry correctly. It is important to have that financial planning and so forth in place.